Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome y'all to the Tuesday, April 16th, 2024 meeting of the Denton County Commissioners Court. We're glad to have y'all with us in person. And if you're watching from home or your office, glad to spend the morning with y'all. At this time, I'd like to welcome up our sheriff, Mr. Tracy Murphy. He is going to lead us in our invocation, and our pledges will be led by our tax assessor collector, Ms. Michelle French. I'd like to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones. If you'll please stand.
Will you pray with me? Our gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, first of all, God, thank you. Thank you for another day of life, God, another opportunity to serve you and to serve others, God. And Father, I lift up this court to you, Father, and the decisions they have to make, God, and I pray they would seek your guidance in each and every decision. And Father, today I would just like to lift up the children of our community, Father, that you would wrap your protective arms around them, God. And thank you for the people in this room who dedicate their lives to those kids. And Father, I would pray that kids that are in trouble and kids that are in need, that you would lead them to these people to get the help that they need. And Father, these monsters who want to hurt these kids, God, I pray you'll lead me to them. God, our country's in turmoil, our world's in turmoil, Father, and we can't do anything about it until we turn to you. I pray for our elected officials, from the president to the precinct chair, Father, that they would seek your guidance in each and every decision they make. Father, I pray for the turmoil in the Middle East, God, that you told us it was coming, and we know it's coming, and we know there will be no peace till the Prince of Peace returns, Father, but we pray for those in harm's way. We pray that you'd wrap your protective arms around them, God, and just protect them and give them a chance, Father. Thank you for your mercy, and most of all, thank you for your love and for your grace. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you so much, Sheriff, and thank you, Mrs. French. All right, we have two individuals that have registered under item 1, which is for public comments. And our first one is from our Denton County Master Gardeners Association, Cheryl Huckabee, if you'll come forward. It's good to see you again, my friend.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Cheryl Huckabee, and I'm the president of the Denton County Master Gardeners Association. We'd like to thank the court for all your support of our mission to educate Denton County residents about sustainable gardening. We hope you'll accept our invitation and these tickets to our Hallmark event, the Garden Tour, on May 11th. There you will see 4 Master Gardener home gardens and a community garden in Flower Mound and Double Oak. And you'll learn a lot about different gardening techniques and be led on guided tours by Master Gardeners who can answer your questions. We thank you again for your support, and we can't wait to see you there on May 11th.
Absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, may I
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
And Cheryl, thank y'all for doing that, and we will publicize that abundantly for you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If y'all haven't been, this is to the general public. If you haven't been to their garden tour, it's a lot of fun. All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Next is Mr. Willie Hudspeth. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Good to see you.
Judge and Commissioners. My name is Willie Hudspeth. I live at 623 Newton. I notice what the sheriff said about the children, that we work hard, I know we do, and some of you do, to make sure they're safe and that they're taken care of. But I wonder about, how do you feel about the cemetery in Pilot Point with those kids who were buried? And for the life of me, I can't understand how humans can do the things that we do to each other. Those kids, we've estimated 40 of them in this one area that are buried there, and now the ground that they're buried in should be sacred ground, but it's just covered with leaves. I would bring pictures up here to show you, but I've been told by the judge that these cameras, or these screens, are not for this purpose, where I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm wondering, well, then what are they there for? What is the money that I pay my taxes? What is that for if I can't use the screens? And when I read the accounts of how my people were treated, beaten and drugged and hung and just treated horribly, I just wonder, how can you in good conscience say, well, you brought an attorney in here who said the grounds are not going to be taken care of because they belong to private citizens. So I'm wondering, who are these owners? Because the people who were there were ran out by the Klan, who owned the property. They were ran out. So who are these other people you're talking about own the property? And Councilman Williams, just so you know, another warning. Probably not a good idea to single out my family in any way. Now, the mayor of this city has 2 DNAs in him. One is mine, and one is his mother's. He is more like his mother. But realize, my DNA is...
Wait, finish your sentence, Mr. Hudspeth.
here for next week.
Okay?
Mr. Hospice,
Yes.
are you threatening me? Is that what that was?
What?
Was it a threat that you just said to me?
What did I say?
It sure sounded like a threat to me.
Well,
You said I need to what? It sounded like a threat.
I'm
Is there something that you need to threaten me about? Because I've done exactly what you asked. I normally don't speak during this because I allow the citizens to do their part, but you come up here and continue to lie, and now you just threatened me.
Did you just
Do
call
you
me a
understand
liar?
what? Yes, I absolutely did, because you just a minute ago said that we said we wouldn't do anything with that cemetery. I sat on a couple weeks ago, and we've made it very clear, we spend a lot of money for that
Tens of
cemetery.
thousands of dollars on that
So that
cemetery.
is absolutely a lie. So if you want to continue these kind of conversations, and you want to continue coming up here and being disrespectful
I don't
to people
call
that
this
are trying to
being
do what they can.
disrespectful.
Hold on a
You're the
second.
one that's
You just
disrespectful.
talked. I'm going to talk for a minute. I've been respectful to you and everything about what you try to do. I don't ever say anything, but you're not going to come up here anymore and treat me and disrespect me and call me and threaten me. I can tell you that for sure. And I have a wonderful relationship with your son. He's a gentleman. But you don't go to Denton to there and act like this there. I would just appreciate you being respectful. I will listen to you. I will meet you. I'll do anything I can to support your efforts. But I expect you to be respectful to me too. And if you can't, then I would appreciate if you don't come back here again and continue saying these things.
You're saying that I don't respect you.
No, you absolutely don't.
Mr.
You
Hudspeth,
just
you've had your
threatened me.
time this morning.
And I'm going to ask the
Say
judge
it
from
again.
now on, if you're going to come up here and threaten me again, that you're not able to speak.
You're saying that I'm threatening you. I'm
Mr.
just telling
Hudspeth,
you.
you
That's
had your
exactly
time
what you
this
did.
morning. Thank you. We'll see you next week, I'm sure.
That's right.
All right.
I'm not gonna have that anymore, Judge. So,
Well,
it's not
you
acceptable.
know, that is the one cemetery that we spend tens of thousands of dollars on
Absolutely.
maintaining, and for comments like that on the public record is complete misinformation.
Yes, sir,
And
and
we've put an agenda item on, we've gone through the whole thing, we've educated them on the status of the county,
Yes, sir.
and they continue to restate misstatements.
yes, sir, that is
So-
exactly right. And I apologize
It's
for
a
saying
disservice
anything
to
during
the
that
public.
time, because I never do, but I'm not gonna sit here and allow somebody just to sit here
All
and
right.
lie about me.
Let's
and
talk about
threaten
some
me.
other children that we are helping as well in the county. And we're going to go to item 3A, which is approval of a resolution proclaiming April the 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and any appropriate action. And we have a proclamation here that we would like to read. And before I do, I'd like to welcome up any of our partners from our partner organizations. You know, the county can't do this alone. We have so many partner organizations that help us as we deal with the children at need and child abuse prevention. You know, we have our friends from the CPS board. We had a wonderful breakfast with them this morning, and it's always great to see y'all and have that fellowship on an annual basis. And our community partners at Denton County, Cumberland Youth Family Service, CASA, Children's Advocacy Center, those are just some of our partners. Do we have anyone who in attendance? Do you want to come speak, Debbie? Did you want to come say anything? Yeah, y'all come, y'all. Any of our partners, representatives of our partner organizations, if y'all would like to come forward, we'd love to have y'all.
Judges, could I give you some blue pens?
Absolutely. Perfect, thank you. Oh, good. We'll get these on. Good time. Here, guys.
I got room for another one.
Bobby Joe, do you have
I got room. I can go down my,
the blue ribbon?
although, I don't know. Yeah,
Thank you, Debbie.
I was gonna say it blends in a little bit with my blue.
All right. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Am I free to speak?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Each year, CASA of Denton County serves over 500 children who have been impacted by abuse and neglect. We encourage community members to be volunteers, to be CASA advocates, so that we can continue to ensure that every child who needs our services has a CASA by their side. Together, we can work towards the goal of having a safe and loving home for every child. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kristen. I didn't see you out there. I'm like, where's Kristen?
I'm here,
I
I'm
didn't-
here. I'm Kristen Howell, I'm the CEO of the Children's Advocacy Center for North Texas. We serve children who have had a crime committed against them and work in partnership with local law enforcement, DFPS, and the District Attorney's Office in helping those kids get the proper investigation, prosecution, and the healing services that are necessary. Last year, 2,979 kids, so just under 3,000 kids came through our doors as alleged victims of crime. We were honored to be able to support them and to work with the incredible teams of people who are the governmental agencies who are charged with this response, and as the local nonprofit provider for that partnership. We are honored to do it and grateful for the county and all that you all do to support that. So
Very
thank you.
good, thank you. And speaking of the county, I'm so glad we have our human trafficking unit. It's represented by the sheriff's office. I know our local police agencies are working in that avenue as well, but and the fact that we have sheriff's deputies in the Children's Advocacy Center in addition to our
That's
representatives of
correct.
DA's office.
The Denton County has taken a really strong stance in creating a robust protocol to respond to crimes of human trafficking. It feels like something that couldn't be here, but in fact it is. And the more training we've gotten and the better response we've gotten, we've seen the numbers go up. So we're really pleased with the ability of our team to respond to those crimes when it happens. It is shocking, but it does happen in our community, and we are, again, proud to be a part of that really specialized response.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We were at your breakfast last week, and y'all gave that statistic. Was it 8 a day, the average of eight? Why don't you tell the public that?
yes, so that 2,979, just under 3,000 kids, if you divide that by every day of the year, is 8 people coming in a day with this alleged crime committed against them and their family. It's pretty remarkable. Our footprint is big here. This is a geographically large region. There's a lot of families here, and where there are families, there are crimes against families. We know that, and we know that this is something that you cannot prevent through socioeconomic level or race, ethnicity, faith, community. All of those places are, we find that the numbers are in any of those communities. So it's important that we bring awareness to that issue, and things like today are part of that effort. So thank you.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Don Cobb.
Hello, I just want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to serve on the CPS board as secretary, and we want to thank the Commissioners Court for your support and for everything that you continue to do to ensure that we can help the CPS staff and support them, as well as the 418 children that are currently in our care. And we work very closely with you as well as with legislators to make sure that we have the latest information available so that we can continue to do the things we need to do to ensure the care of the children that are in the foster program, and to continue to engage people in wanting to become foster families. We know that that is a vital, important mission as well. Lorraine will speak a moment on community partners.
And on behalf of Community Partners, I want to thank you all for the support that we get from you. We thank you for the support that we get to be able to provide our children with beds and clothing, all new items, and pack and plays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We really appreciate your support in doing this. And the Commissioners Court always is really good about collecting gift cards for our children at Christmas time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Judge, do we have the whole, all of the CPS board up here?
I think they will when we do the picture.
Okay.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Karen Lowry. I'm a program director for Denton County Child Protective Investigations. I really wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all for your support, continued support over the years, and also thank our community partners. This is not a job that we can do alone, so with it, it makes it possible. I also want to do a special thanks to all of our staff who take time away from their own families to make sure that the children of Denton County are safe.
Good, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ruthie Cherry. I'm a program administrator with Child Protective Services, and I just want to say thank you for your support. We are going through a big transition to community-based care, and our partners, our community, our kids are here to support us, and we just appreciate your continued support as we go through this transition, as well as the support from the Child Welfare Board and all of our community partners. And we want to recognize again, our staff who have been phenomenal throughout this whole thing in reducing the number of kids that need to be in care and that remain in care for a long period of time. They've done phenomenal work this last year.
That's great. Good. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me read. Is there anyone else? Any of our other partners? Good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Misty Wamhoff, and I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to serve on the CPS board, and just appreciate all of your support and your help.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you for y'all's service. Yes, good morning, Doctor.
Hi, Dr. B, Bridget Milson, CPS board. And having adopted two sons, I just want to say an extra thank you because it's amazing. It's incredible to see what these foster families can do. So I'm on the board to really rally people to be foster parents. And thank you guys for everything.
That's great. Good. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Good morning. My name is Joan Park Saunders, and I just want to thank the commissioners for giving me an opportunity to serve on the board, and I want to thank you for the support that you provide to the children of Denton County.
Oh, thank you. No problem. We appreciate y'all working on the board, those evenings that y'all dedicate and during the day. And Lorraine and I were talking about just the different acts of service that y'all do to speak into the lives of these kids, and we just want to thank you. All those CPS workers, y'all do the Lord's work, and that's something that you can't turn off, those stories that you hear, and same thing with your team, Kristen, and all the CASA volunteers, when those, the staff and the volunteers really are leaving Denton County a better place, and as y'all invest into each one of those kids' lives. We were talking about that this morning, giving them an opportunity to launch, and have a good start here in Denton County as they go off and realize their dreams, whether it be here locally or across the state or across the world as they make their own life. But hopefully they'll have a good start here in Denton County, and it's made possible by each of you. So thank y'all for your passion. Thank you. Members, do you have any comments before I read this proclamation? Okay. So this is a court proclamation recognizing Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in our society affecting many children in Denton County. And whereas in 2023, the Child Protective Services received 8,437 reports of child abuse, and of those, 6,479 were assigned to caseworkers. And whereas in 2023, Denton County Child Protective Services obtained legal custody of 183 new children, who were then placed with an appropriate relative or kinship caregiver or in a foster home. And whereas in 2023, the Denton County Child Protective Services had an average of 297 children in its protective custody. And whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and be free from verbal, sexual, emotional, or physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is a responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect that child's inalienable right to a safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas Denton County has dedicated individuals and organizations who work daily to counter the problem of child maltreatment and to help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships created among social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And now, therefore, the Denton County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Denton County. We call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, medical facilities, and businesses, including the Denton County Child Protective Services Board, community partners of Denton County, the Cumberland Youth and Family Services, the court-appointed special advocates, CASA, of Denton County, and the Child Advocacy Center of North Texas to increase their participation in our efforts to support families, thereby preventing child abuse and strengthening the communities in which we live. Done in open court, this is 16th day of April, 2024, upon a motion made by?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Mitchell, second by Commissioner Falconer. Any other comments? Yes, go right ahead.
Judge, I'd like to say something. So two of my grandchildren came through the foster system, and so have an added respect for everything that you all do. It is incredible what you all are doing to help our kids. And one thing that I want to point out to my fellow men as I'm looking here is I don't see a lot of men standing here. And that actually in some ways comforted me because I know things are going correctly because you ladies are taking care of it. But I would ask that we need to step up as well, and help. And but I so appreciate.
We'll get you a board application
I was about to say,
when it's over.
Sounded like he just volunteered, is what I heard.
That is possible.
That's a good observation. Go ahead, Commissioner.
I just want to thank you all for all that you do. You do a wonderful job in taking care of our kids. And I love the fact that all of these groups are working together. No big I's and big U's. It's just, let's help the kids. Let's take care of the kids of Denton County. Thank you. This is not just a board that you serve on. This is a lifetime that you, and Lorraine can attest to that for these 24 years. This is a lifetime that you have to stay with it. You have to have a passion for the kids, and so I'm glad y'all are here. I'm glad you're standing in the gap for our children. Keep up the good work, and please continue to let the Commissioners Court know what we can do to help you. We appreciate you so much.
Commissioner Edmondson.
Not on, baby. Push it hard, baby.
Thank you. Thank you, too, y'all, for being here today. I became aware of CPS when I became a commissioner, and I've just been amazed at what you all do. Really appreciate it. And I have to tell you, I have been approached by a man that I know who is interested in serving on your board. So I'll see if these other guys will give some permission, and we can make that happen. But it's just incredible to me. I've seen so many stories just in the last 2 weeks about children across the country, including one in Texas, who were literally starved to death by adults. And it just makes you want to cry. So thank you for what you're doing, and let's work together and see what we can do to make sure it doesn't happen to anybody in Denton County.
Perfect, good. Thank you. All right, go right ahead.
I'm so sorry. I failed to mention Sue Tamel, who is also on our board, and wanted to recognize the service that she has brought.
Yes.
And then we have John Perry, who is the current president of Community Partners of Denton County. So thank you.
Good, thank you, Don. Thank you, thank you, Mayor, for being here.
There's the sole guy back there.
Yeah, there he is.
And in the background,
Been
just where we're
helping
supposed to be.
for 25
right?
years.
Yeah, right in the
Up
background.
for
so that's
25 years, yes.
Was
we-
voluntold at one
Voluntold.
time. And he's still here.
He's
That's
happily
right.
married.
Thank you all.
So, all right, we have any other comments? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Let's gather up, we'll do a group picture right here. There's another one. Well, you gotta step up quicker. Come on, no, we have time. Let's go. Yes, sir. You're the winner. All right, anybody left out here? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, thank you so much. No. I mean, this is 17 years of it.
That's it. I did mine and I'm done. That's all he's gonna get out of me.
I mean, well,
I said my.
Totally.
Oh.
Totally.
Jody. Help. I was gonna tell you that while we was taking the pictures and I forgot. No, I want him to cut my heater on.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get him to take your slip.
To take what?
Your slip off. You were telling me. Thank you so much. I was going to tell you when you take it. Let me see something.
well, it's always good to know that we have those
Look at that.
advocates out there working
Don't you
for our
push that
kids.
emergency button.
I'm not. I'm just trying to tell you.
Let's go to item 3B.
I just saw something for my.
Thank you, ma'am.
3B is approval of a court proclamation recognizing April the 14th through the 20th, 2024 as National Public Safety Telecommunication Week. Any appropriate action? And we have the sheriff here and Deputy Kish and our communications manager, Robin Thomas. You want to come forward? Yes, it's sheriff's.
Very reluctantly, Robin is coming
Yes.
up here.
Well, it's their special week. Go right ahead, Sheriff.
Just briefly, tell you a little bit about these folks. And you talk about unsung and unseen heroes.
That's right.
These are it. And I've been doing this type of work for 36 years, and over the years, I have worked with a lot of, telecommunications operators. They don't care if you call them dispatchers no more than I care if you call me a cop. It's a badge of honor. And the job they do is phenomenal. They're the voice at the other end of the telephone when 911's called, when they're giving instructions to a 10-year-old on how to give CPR, or a police officer's in a firefight and needs help. I can't think of anything more frustrating than being at the end of that phone and not being able to crawl through it and do something. But they hold it together. They do their job in a remarkable way, and they save lives every single day in Denton County. And over my career, my life's been saved by them before. And they have a special place in my heart because, there's an old saying that your spouse may not know where you are, your boss may not know where you are, but if your dispatcher doesn't know where you are, you're in trouble.
That's right.
And that's how they feel. They feel personally responsible for each and every officer out there and for each and every citizen that calls in for their help. And, 1 week a year is not enough, but it's something. And I just want to acknowledge what they do for their community, what they do for every police officer and firefighter and EMS worker out there. And, once again, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, every single day, every hour of the day, someone's on the other end of that line, and that's important. Right. 2020, they didn't get to work from home. They were there. When a lot of folks were working from home, and unfortunately, due to the circumstances, maybe domestic violence took an upswing during that time, and different things happened. They were there to answer the call each and every time. And just personally, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank them for always being there to answer that call, whether it be from you or from me when I'm in deep trouble. I had to rethink my words there for a second. I forgot there wasn't a lot of cops in here, sorry. But I'm learning, Judge, as I go forward, that I'll go with deep trouble. But the other word is more appropriate, but I just want to thank them for everything they do. And we have a remarkable crew at the Denton County Sheriff's Office. We do. And, we talked about being short on detention officers and things. We're short on our dispatchers as well. Sure. But we're getting there. But once again, they were there to answer the call. And I know she would rather crawl under this table than get up here and say something. But I'm going to because she does such a great job for us, a remarkable job. And our communications supervisor, Robin Thomas.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah. Totally unexpected, thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone at the Sheriff's Office and the Commissioners and the Judge for always showing support for communications. And it's been a while since I've actually had a headset on, but I did start on the floor. I'd have to dust it off, but this week is truly special to everyone in the communications division. Just to give a little public awareness about us down in the basement and what they do. They truly are, if you've ever seen them working an event, it's just like a well-oiled machine, and it amazes me every time I walk in there and something big is going on. And I am truly thankful that they allow me to be a part of their team. So thank you again for acknowledging them.
Thank you. When you think about it, when there's an emergency, there's an emergency response, it begins with a call to dispatch, continues through that incident, and then concludes with, so you are through that incident from beginning to end, through the phone, and as instructing the first responders, and allocating resources and so forth. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the million residents of Denton County. Thank you. We dispatch for so many. Not all the cities have their own dispatch, so so we dispatch for so many of our cities in the unincorporated part of the county, and so it's a big responsibility. Lots of lives and property are protecting and saving, and I just want to, on behalf of the residents, really want to say thank you, Robin, and for you and your whole team. And as the sheriff said, it's 24/7. That never stops. It just never stops. So thank you. Thank you that we have that assurance. We pick up that phone, and a friendly call taker be on the other end of it. So thank you.
Judge?
Yes, go right ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go for it. Well, Robin, I want to thank you too. I've just gotten to know you a little better as we're working to get you out of the basement. We're looking at putting the dispatch in our emergency operations center, and I think it's going to be great. And it's been a great opportunity for me to learn even more. I've obviously always appreciated our dispatchers, but even more, you've taught me so many things about what they are having to do and see what's happening there. And it is often, and I say this, it's a thankless job. I think about, like the sheriff several months ago, my life was saved because of a dispatcher and first responders, but I realized I don't know who that dispatcher was and was never able to thank that person, right? And I realized, so that's not why you all do it, but I'm glad that we're able to thank you as a community this week. But thank you so much for everything. And please pass those thanks along to all your dispatchers.
Yes.
Commissioner.
Thank you. First off, thank you so much for the career you've chosen to be in. It's definitely, as Commissioner said, it's a thankless job. From the standpoint of the majority of the citizens have no idea that the job even exists, first off, until they have to make that emergency call. And then that's when they realize there's actually someone in between them and the emergency personnel that show up on scene. And I'll tell you, there's been multiple times it's been nice to have that dispatcher to send some help personally for myself, so I can appreciate where the sheriff's coming from. And also to help get information sometimes that we need in the field that's not available to us. So, you know, it's really, there's a close working relationship, even though there's some officers that you'd prefer not to always deal with, and I can appreciate that. But at the end of the day, we do all come together and work really well together. So thank you and your staff. I know it's not an easy job whatsoever, and obviously we're trying to get you guys out of the dungeon because it would be nice to have a little better working environment. So, but again, thank you so much, and please pass on to your dispatchers how much we appreciate it.
Thank you. I will.
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Robin, I just want to thank you and all of our dispatchers and our telecommunication workers. It's a blessing when you pick up the phone and call dispatch and you have someone on the line that actually know what they're doing and can actually tell you what to do. Because you're in a crisis most of the time when we call. I know sometimes we accidentally call when it's not an emergency, but when it's an emergency, it's nice to have someone at the end of the line that can direct you and tell you and calm you down until help gets there. Because that's so important also, not just taking the call, but being able to minister to that person until help gets there. And so you all are ministers to our citizens here in Denton County, and we appreciate that, and that goes for all the dispatchers all over Denton County. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you. Did you want to say thank you, Mr.?
Well, y'all, I have been very blessed. I have never been in, as the sheriff says, deep trouble where I've had to call 911, and I hope I never do. But it is so comforting, even to those of us who haven't personally used the service, to know that it is there. And as Commissioner Mitchell says, to know that they'll listen, they'll tell you what to do, and they'll make sure that the good things happen. So thank you, even from those who are not your customers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, we'll go ahead and read this proclamation. This is a proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, April the 14th through the 20th, 2024. The Denton County Commissioners Court, Denton County, Texas, during a regular session on the 16th day of April, 2024, considered the following proclamation. Whereas the week of April the 14th through April the 20th, 2024 is a time to show our appreciation and recognize that our health, safety, and well-being often depend on the commitment and steadfast devotion of the public 911 telecommunicators. And whereas the Denton County 911 telecommunicators are dedicated professionals ready to answer emergency and life-saving calls to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We know we can rely on the dedication and professionalism of our 911 telecommunicators who answer non-emergency and 911 emergency calls for law enforcement, fire, emergency medical services, and dispatch the appropriate assistance as quickly as possible. Our 911 telecommunicators are often the sole lifeline to police, fire, and EMS in the field. And whereas in 2023, the Denton County 911 telecommunicators answered 89,255 911 emergency calls for service and 179,904 non-emergency calls, totaling 269,159, which does not include the 68,216 outbound calls or the 308 texts to 911 that were processed. Aside from managing the telephone workload, they entered 340,714 office-initiated activities and public requests and 22,827 fire EMS-initiated activates and public requests. Whereas our dedicated 911 telecommunicators engage in hundreds of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their communication and life-saving skills, our skillful and experienced telecommunicators who support emergency response and show devoted commitment every day serve as a vital link between our residents and public safety providers who save lives, protect property, and apprehend criminals. And whereas first responder refers to a public safety employee whose primary duty is to respond quickly to an emergency, the 911 telecommunicators of Denton County have played a vital role in the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. These unseen first responders work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure emergencies are dealt with efficiently. Every one of these dedicated men and women deserves our heartfelt appreciation, and whereas it is appropriate to set aside a week and recognize the vital and critical role our 911 telecommunicators provide in helping to protect life and property, they are the unseen heroes of public safety. They are always heard but rarely seen, and they are our heroes behind the scenes, the calm voice in the dark. And now therefore be it resolved in recognition of the men and women of the Denton County Sheriff's Office Communications Center whose diligence and professionalism keep our county citizens safe, we, the Denton County Commissioners Court of Denton County, do hereby proclaim the week of April the 14th through the 20th, 2024 as Public Safety Telecommunicator Week in Denton County. We urge our citizenry to join the Commissioners Court in commending all telecommunicators for dedication to duty, professionalism, and commitment to the preservation of life and property and the prevention of crime. Done in open court. This is the 16th day of April, 2024, upon a motion by the chair.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Williams. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to do the church later since they're not here. I'm going to get the DCTA out of here.
Okay.
That's okay. All right, let's go to item 3D. 3D is a presentation and update from the Denton County Transportation Authority, otherwise known as DCTA, and we do have our guests with us this morning. I'll call upon Mayor of Louisville, Texas, Mayor T.J. Gilmore, and then he's going to present, as well as Paul Christina from DCTA, our CEO. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give you an update on our Denton County Transportation Authority. We're also joined by Ms. Brandy Bird, our local government affairs partner, and so we appreciate
morning, Brandy.
her time here as well. Let me get the keyboard.
We have so much good news about the agency, and we thought it would be appropriate to come in and do an annual update with y'all. Y'all may read about it in the paper or social media, get some other reports. We thought we'd come to court and kind of outline this morning, so go right ahead, Paul.
Thank you very much. So you all are familiar with our board of directors. Obviously, we thank you, Judge Eads, for your service to our board, as well as Mr. Gonzalez as Denton County's alternate. Our chairman, who joins me today, Mr. Cesar Molina, another one of your representatives, and Mayor Jaworski from Highland Village, and Allison McGuire representing the city of Denton. So one of the most important things we've done in the last couple of years was get together in June of 2022 and get reoriented to why is it the DCTA exists and what are we here to accomplish. And that work session over in the 2020 room led to 3 key messages from the conversation through the board that are very simple but very profound in orienting us to the right direction. Number 1, we want to get each person where they need and want to go. Secondly, we want to make it easy for the rider. And third, we want to drive a better future for Denton County. On number 1, that need and want to go is very important because we recognize that the citizens of Denton County, many of them have options. And so this is not just about trips of necessity, though those are important, but also providing services of choice that people who do have options choose to take transit, which is a higher bar, a higher standard that we're happy to attain to. That conversation led to a new vision and mission statement that you see here before you, and what I'll point out here is we're about innovation, we're about building economic growth, we're about being engaged in our community, and having sustainable transportation, alternatives to the highway system, and simply our mission every day, getting people where they need and want to go for work, play, and life. I'm going to highlight some major accomplishments from 2023 before I turn it over to our chair to talk about what's happening this year. And we've just done a great job, had a great year last year that's put a lot of momentum behind us. We saw the highest overall ridership on the system since 2019. The Go Zone service delivered nearly 200,000 rides in Louisville, almost 80% more than the former bus service that was in Louisville. We had the opportunity to dedicate fleet to the Go Zone service in Highland Village. It allowed ridership there to triple, and we continue to see demand increase in Highland Village. Delivered our 1 millionth ride on the Go Zone service after its launch in September of 2021, and our A-Train, which we'll talk a lot more about here today, up 28% year over year. And so with that, I'll turn it over to our chair.
I think what's key to understand is that DCTA's focus is on making sure that we move the most people for our buck. We're all fiscally conservative around here, and we want to make sure that these systems are doing absolutely their best. When that being said, you can see today's all modes were projected to have record ridership this year. That is if we see no continued growth in ridership for the remainder of this year. We're very excited about that, but we have had growth this year, so I think we're going to see that number eclipse very soon. You can see here, I'm not going to belabor all the data. Access is down a little bit, but I think some of that is just simply because they've got other options and don't necessarily have to use the access system, so we're seeing some of that as well. But very excited, of course, with the A-Train and its ridership continuing to grow. You can see here that we're one of the top commuter rail performers in the nation. We're number 11, so you can... Our story is an amazing story nationwide. We were back to full capacity faster than any other transit agency. In fact, most transit agencies across the country are still at around 70 to 80% of their pre-COVID numbers. So we're about to set a record, all-time record for our ridership in Denton County this year. So I think that's a really great story. You'll see our campaigns going on because, as we know, especially in Louisville, with 121, Main Street, and Corporate all being redone as part of version 1.5678 with TxDOT, all of those roads are definitely creating some challenges for folks. But you know what? When they're sitting on I-35 and they can see the train passing them on the right, you'd be home by now if you were taking transit. So we're very excited about the opportunities that construction is going to continue to drive. You can see here we have, of course, taken a very close look at the A-Train, and some of the complaints that we get on a regular basis are the linkage into DART and being able to more efficiently get our residents between the two systems. As you can see here, the Silver Line's coming online shortly down in downtown Carrollton, so the board has directed staff to do a $250 million overhaul of the A train to get us down to 15-minute head times, extending and putting a station in downtown Carrollton, as well as considering a new station at Corinth to hopefully get more Denton County cities tied into the system. So we're continuing to grow and take a look at all of those options as they come along. You may have heard about one of our affordable housing projects down by the Old Town Station in Louisville. It's actually up for a D Magazine Real Estate Deal of the Year. It's a finalist. This program is helping to reinvest into our neighborhoods. It's going to help grow that side. And we also want to thank the county because part of this is a TERS that you all participate in. So this is a great visioning, forward-looking opportunity to create something that's just a keystone for Denton County, and we're very excited about it. And then, of course, when we take a look at how we enhance transportation, GoZone has been a key tool. Everything that we do in DCTA, and I got to thank Paul here, because when we sat down, I'm very data-driven, and so when we sat down and looked at the data between a bus versus a GoZone, there's a point where one becomes more cost-effective than the other. We know what that point is, and so we can make decisions on how to deploy various technologies. Too often we get caught in this mindset that transit is a bus, or transit is a van, or transit is a thing. Transit is moving people, period, regardless of the technology. If it's cheaper for me to move people with limousines all over the county, that's what I will do, because that's the fiscally responsible way to do it. Now, limos aren't. But the point being is that GoZone has helped us really bridge that gap. You can see that the type of ridership that we have, 45,000 unique riders. The app allows you to rate your experience, and we've got 98% five-star ratings. We're going to be close to our 2 millionth ride here shortly, so it's continuing to grow. A diverse ridership base, and of course 71%, which is interesting because we live in Texas, the land of roads and vehicles. 71% of our riders don't own a personal car. I'll tell you my personal testimony. When I ride on the GoZone, I typically see middle schoolers, 13 years of age and higher, because that's who can use the app with their parents' permission. I see middle schoolers and high schoolers taking this app all the time. It's building their self-sufficiency. It's allowing parents that maybe have 2 or 3 jobs that can't get their kids to after-school activities or sports or some of those things that help them. It is really freeing up opportunities for our children, specifically in Louisville, but I know it's all across the districts. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the impact we're having on families, and especially helping our kids become more independent and getting them the tools that they need to be successful. I think that's a phenomenal story that gets lost in the conversation. We also want to talk about transit as an economic driver. We have data to prove it. And this is right here, for those of you who maybe aren't familiar, this is the 407 corridor on the south side of Highland Village. You notice all of those red and green dots clustered along 407. What's there? Jobs. Jobs. And so what we're finding is that most of the businesses in that corridor are having some challenges because they don't necessarily, with housing affordability being what it is, they don't necessarily have the ability for their residents to come and work there. Louisville is meeting the demand for that, so our residents are able to get in there. Of course, Highland Village residents are being able to use it to get to the rest of the network as well. But as you can see, 30% of those passengers begin and end in Highland Village, and they're all clustered along that bottom corridor, 407. 70% of the passengers, of course, beginning in Highland Village will end in Louisville. So it also shows the dynamic. And as I talk with Commissioner Mitchell all the time, those 3 cities, Louisville, Highland Village, and Flower Mound, we are so connected. This is just further proof of the linkages that those communities help serve each other. Now, you'll also see 76% ridership increase in Louisville following that transition to GoZone from fixed route. I think this is important because, again, it goes to the technology is what drives ridership. So different tools, different times, different sources. So for Louisville, the fixed routes weren't doing a great job. And so as you can see, we've had tremendous growth there, 38% continued growth. And so we're very excited about the tool and how it works. But what's most important is with GoZone, I have data. Every one of those little green dots is within a quarter mile of a bus route. And so we can now determine, hey, where is a new bus route? Where can it go? Where can we maybe move service away from an area, GoZone service, and have that ridership move and migrate back to a fixed route bus that's more cost effective because of the density that's there. So again, for folks who like a particular modality, that's wonderful. We're going to use the data that we pull from this system to be able to determine what mobility option is best viable for them. It might be roller skates. You just never know. So with that, I'm going to hand this back over to our CEO, and Paul can close us out.
Thank you, sir. So good snapshot of what's been happening at DCTA this year and last year. Lots of momentum heading in the right direction. Wanted to close with what you can expect from DCTA moving forward and what you might be hearing about us as we develop a service plan that gets us into the 2035 time horizon. Back to those key messages on the left-hand side and getting people where they want to go, making it easy for them, driving a better future for Denton County. The things I'll highlight here: maximizing the value of the A-train. That asset is a tremendous benefit to this community, this county, that we have the opportunity to leverage significantly, and we're going to continue focusing on that. An integrated transportation system where all of our modes work together, as well as working with the highway system, transparency and clarity in decision-making, because that's our responsibility as stewards of the public good. And that all boils down to really delivering exceptional value, understanding where transit needs to be in the future to enable Denton County to continue to grow successfully, and doing it in such a way that DCTA is not a provider just of necessity, but a provider of choice for the people of Denton County and our member cities. So again, we appreciate the opportunity to give you this update. Lots of good news to share. We thank you for your support and the voice that you lend to telling the transit story in Denton County, and thank you very much. It's a privilege to be with you today.
Thank you, Paul. Commissioner Edmondson?
Thank you guys so much. And first of all, Mayor, congratulations on being endorsed for re-election by the Dallas Morning News.
Thank you,
It
ma'am.
shows you're doing a good job if even Dallas can figure it
Oh
out.
yeah, you know, I'll take them where I can get them.
You bet, you bet. And Paul, I think back several years ago when we first met you, you had moved to Denton County, and I think you were working for maybe BNSF at that time. And you were interested in becoming a part of the community and serving the community. And if I remember right, Judge, we put Paul on the DCTA board as an alternate at that time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, you've come a long way, baby, and you're doing a great job for us, and appreciate both of y'all and the entire board so much. I think every time I see one of those funky-looking little Go Zone cars, I think about y'all and how it wouldn't be there if it weren't for visionaries like you. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Mitchell.
I want to thank you all for the job you're doing. Back in 2002, when we had to vote for this, I was a little skeptical. I like driving my car. I like getting to where I want to.
You like being driven, too.
And I love being driven.
I can attest.
But
Just
I
saying.
want to thank you, all the people that were before you that have worked to make DCTA what it is today. There's going to come a point in time that I'm going to have to stop driving that car, and I'm not going to have anybody, Judge, Commissioners, drive me, so I may have to take DCTA. I'm glad we have this opportunity, especially for our citizens who don't own a car or can't afford the gas is high, that they can get on a DCTA product and get to where they need to go. Thank you for keeping this going, and thank you for making me a believer.
That's right.
Because when I made that vote in 2002, I was so skeptical about it. But you all have made a believer out of me. I just wish all of our other cities who did not vote, who are now seeing that they should have voted to become a part of DCTA, would get up, get their money ready, and be a part like Holland Village, Louisville, and Denton have been for these past few years. Thank you, and I appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any comments?
Yeah, great presentation. Thank you.
Well, I want to echo your sentiments, Commissioner. You know, there was a lot of doubt years ago, and it was overwhelmingly approved by the Denton County voters, you know. And I want to publicly thank Mr. Charles Emery he was a chairman for, was it 14 years? Was Charles chairman? I think it was well over a decade. Very much the father of the agency, and spearheaded the efforts with State Representative Bert Solomons on the enabling legislation. And I think it's important as we give updates about the agency, we reference them, and because they have a great legacy to start this agency. And it is light years and where we have been able to deliver these systematic approaches along this corridor is light years ahead of other other transit agencies across the U.S. And so we're small and mighty, and I really appreciate the leadership. Mayor, thank you for stepping up and serving as chairman, and Paul, you've done a great job on the board and as a staff and as an interim and now the CEO, and the whole agency is poised for greatness. Our numbers speak for themselves. It's a very good story to tell, and that we're being dynamic and innovative, as Paul mentioned, and look at taking the mobility to the people who need it. And so we are having conversations with other cities to welcome them to the agency, and as we expand into all four corners of the county, to improve mobility. So it's a systematic approach with great relationships with our partner agencies in Dallas and Tarrant County as well. We've been working on that for many years, and our state delegation and our state partners, and we appreciate them and all their support and acknowledgement of our efforts as well. So anything else anyone would like to add? Okay, well, good. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Brandy.
Gentlemen.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to go, I don't think we have any guests with us today on any of these items, to my knowledge. And I was just asking, I think we're going to take a recess and go into executive session. So we have a schedule today that we're trying to keep with some guests. And so I think we'll conclude the rest of the meeting later today. Does that sound good?
Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
If I may, we have item 3C.
We can, that's the pastor, but we can do that later.
I think we'll do, thank you, Bianca. I think what we're going to do is we have a schedule with executive session we're going to try to keep, and we'll go to executive session. We'll come back later today and conclude the rest of the agenda. Okay. So I think we will do that. So let's go to executive session. Item 15A is a Texas Government Code 551074A1, Personnel Matters, closed meeting to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee for the following position, aide to Commissioner's Court, in any appropriate action. Item 15B is Texas Government Code 55107445A1, a personal matter affecting a county advisory body, and this is a closed meeting to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of a member of an advisory body, to wit, the Child Protective Services Board, in any appropriate action. And it is 10:09, and we are in executive session.